Welcome back, everyone. It's good to have Museum Director Catherine Pears with us, along with Erin Greenwald. She is with the Historic New Orleans Collection. She's going to tell us about the Purchased Lives exhibit that is coming to the museum, starting, I believe, June the 3rd.
Yes, so this Friday.
Good to have y'all, ladies.
Thank you for being here today.
Oh, we're happy to.
Thank you.
Good. Please tell us the history.
Yeah, we'll start
Sure.
with you.
So this exhibition opens June 3rd at the Alexandria Museum of Art. It's called Purchased Lives, the American Slave Trade from 1808 to 1865.
Okay.
It originated in New Orleans, where it was on view at the Historic New Orleans Collection last summer. We had record-breaking attendance. And it addresses the period from 1808, when the United States abolished the international slave trade, to 1865, the close of the Civil War. And it focuses on the more than 1 million enslaved men, women, and children who were forcibly moved from the Upper South, places like Maryland and Virginia and North Carolina, to the Lower South, Louisiana, Arkansas, Alabama, Mississippi, as cotton and sugar expanded in the 19th century.
And New Orleans became kind of the slave capital.
Yes, so New Orleans in the antebellum period was the largest slave market in the South, which means in the country. More men, women, and children were bought and sold in New Orleans in the antebellum period than anywhere else in the country.
And people would come from all over the South and go to all different places
That's
in New
right.
Orleans.
That's
to
right. Yeah, we've identified more than 52 sites across the city of New Orleans where people were bought in large numbers.
Yeah, in the French Quarter.
French Quarter, Central Business District, the Faubourg Marigny. It was really dispersed throughout the city, unlike other places like Charleston or Savannah, where slave sales were typically concentrated in a certain area.
Yeah.
It was just dispersed throughout the city of New
So
Orleans.
this covers a 57-year span
That's correct.
in history.
And you know, the local connection, of course, is the Solomon Northup story, which
Yep.
is exactly about this type of enslavement. And you know, of course, our area is ground zero for that story. And our companion exhibit are photographs by Avoyelles Parish artist Jan Bobeff,
Okay.
who is 80 years old. And she was an artist in Houston and has been home for about 20 years taking photographs. And she really identified with this story and has spent a lot of time, you know, on those back roads in Avoyelles and Rapides photographing. And it was a great companion piece for this historic
it's an
New
easy
Orleans
tie-in.
exhibit. So we have the two exhibits in the downstairs galleries at the museum, and we have incredible programming that'll be wrapped around, you know, really knowing and finding out the true story about what was going on there. You know, we've even gotten our educational programs, workshops in the Rapides Parish School Teachers Institute this summer. So they'll be able to come and do a workshop with Erin and her staff.
So it coincides with the exhibit.
Right.
Well, thanks to a very generous grant from the National Endowment for the Humanities, this exhibition and a full slate of programming, including lectures, book clubs, teachers' workshops, will be here in Alexandria, but also at the National Civil Rights Museum and the Bullock Texas State History Museum over the course of the next 2 years.
Wonderful.
So people can come to the museum all summer long, essentially, to check out
Right.
the exhibit, right?
Exactly. We've got two book clubs that'll be going on and numerous lectures connected. And one of the things I really like about this exhibit, but it goes all the way through the time that the slaves were freed and
Yeah, that's a
began
fascinating
searching
story.
for their
Searching for
families,
family members.
That's
which
right.
is a
Through the
really
newspaper.
heartfelt
through the
story.
newspapers.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
it sounds like you're taking us through this 57-year era.
Yeah, so the main focus is on the domestic slave trade, which of course ends in 1865 with
Right.
the abolition of slavery following the Civil War. But we also think about what happened to the families who had in many instances been separated, husbands from wives, children from mothers, communities broken apart.
Sure.
Their efforts during and after the Civil War to find family members that had been lost in the trade is a major focus of the exhibition.
How interesting.
It is, it is. And we're grateful to the Louisiana Endowment for Humanities who sponsored our exhibit and the National Endowment for Humanities that has sponsored the HNOC's exhibit. So it's really a great companion, like we said before. And the fact that the NEH wants to see this exhibit travel throughout the United States.
Catherine, Erin, thanks for coming. Good
Thank
to
you
have
guys.
Thank you
Quickly,
so
Catherine,
much.
there's an opening reception.
On Friday night, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that we also have a third exhibit exhibit, our annual Faculty and Friends show with our standout artists from different universities.
You got to get that plug in,
Different
Catherine.
universities and our local arts groups.
Thank y'all so
Thanks.
much for being
Thanks,
with us
ladies.
this
Thank you so
morning.
much.
Thank you.
More to come.